Hey guys, how's it going? We're back with another hand review, and this hand was posted in our private Discord group. So if you're interested to learn how to master live poker, check out the video link below. And we also have a sale going right now, so you can save a lot of money when you are interested in the Mastering Live course or in the Apprentice course. So make sure to check the link out below. So here we have pocket fives on the cutoff. We open to 3 big blinds, which is totally legit. Fish calls and another loose fish calls in the small blind. Big blind calls as well. So four way to the flop. So we definitely hope to bink a 5, and there it is. So good so far. So
Yeah, that's what we want to see.
blinds check, and yeah, what do you think? How big should we bet in this spot? Multi-way out of position against the fish, or would you check raise?
Nah, no, I wouldn't. I mean, sometimes if I knew the fish on the button was very active, total maniac, then sure, it's a nice spot to put a check in, and then you get a check raise in against a couple players. But it's also just risky because the board's pretty draw heavy. You got a bunch of fish in the hand. You just want to start building a pot right away with a set. So yeah, even though in theory there's probably a lot of checks and small bets, I think here we can just play really exploitatively, which we can do a ton of times in these games and just bet big, even out of position. Multi-way, just put a nice like whatever $35 bet in. That's going to be totally fine because again, there's three players, three fish. There's just a lot of hands that can call us here, and our main goal is try to get stacks in by the river. So yeah, I definitely like a big bet here.
Yeah, really, really good point. Cause when I mean, even against one opponent, right? When only one VIP calls, when we bet
Mm-hmm.
10% from the effective stack size on the flop, we're able to get all the money in the middle. So pot is 48. So when we bet, so the effective stack from the fish and the loose fish is 388. So when we bet around $40 on the flop, we're able to get stacks in by the river. And this should be our main goal. And like you mentioned, we should definitely play exploitive in those spots because the calling range from VIP 1 and VIP 2 is pretty inelastic. So if you bet 25 or 35, they will call with basically the same range. So we just lose value when we bet too small with our really, really, really strong hands. And we should only check raise when the button is super aggressive, stabbing a lot, bluffing with total trash, right? Then it definitely makes sense to check raise on those dry board textures. But yeah, here we should definitely bet 40, 35, something in between. I would really love to see that. So let's find out what Hero did. And he bets $20. Yeah, I really dislike this. This is, what is it, 40%? Yeah, around 40%. I think in general, even betting 16 or something like this is totally legit against two competent opponents. But as we mentioned, against VIPs, just size up, calling range super inelastic. You just print a ton. Because when you think about which hands are going to continue, it's most pairs, right? So 10x, all the flush draws, probably all the gut shots, hands like ace 4, ace deuce, and not too much, right? I mean, probably all the 5x, so 4, 5, 5, 6, the pairs in between, so 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, all the 10x,
Yeah.
and that's about it. And I think they probably call for any amount, especially on the flop. I mean, in those situations, it's important to think like a VIP. So on the flop, it's only $30 or only $40, because only when you arrive on the river, it's really big money involved. So they don't really care if they have to pay 20 or $35 to see another turn card, and that's why I would always aim for the bigger amount when you play against VIPs on those board textures.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's see what happens. So hopefully someone raises, but no button calls, small blind calls, and we see a decent turn, that's for sure. So only ace 4 improved. Besides that, we still have basically the nuts. 4-6 is not too likely. Yeah, small blind
Yeah,
checks,
yeah.
and yeah, I think now we definitely should value it, right? So pot is 108, and this time hero sizes up. I really like this. How do you Lou?
Mhm.
How do you like the bet? Do you think we have another option besides betting big?
No, I think this is a good size. Yeah, this is perfect. I think I wouldn't go too massive, like a big overbet, even though it's probably fine really against two fish. but there still is ace four. Like both these guys could have ace four offsuit, right, or 4-6 suited. So that's still a decent amount of combos. It's not like we're worried, right? But if you go too big, you're just pricing out a lot of their shit pairs, and then really just isolating yourself against. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not like you're only isolating yourself against ace four and 6-4. There's other hands that you can obviously get called by if you go huge, but yeah, I think this is fine anywhere between like 3/4 pot, 2/3 to like 2/3 to like full pot say somewhere around there. Yeah, so it seems good.
Yep. Also like the idea. Why not? Definitely the way to go. And no one raises, so we have the best hand right now, right? It's basically
Yeah,
impossible that they slow play ace 4 or 4-6 on such a dry board texture. So we feel awesome about our hand. So we only want to avoid a club and then we are good to go. River is a 6, pot is 240, and there you can, or pot is nearly 250, and there you see when we just size up a little bit on the flop, it's super easy to get stacks in on the river when the river is a blank, because here pot is 250 and the VIP has 300. So you have to overbet to get all the money in the middle, and this definitely sucks, and you want to avoid this. So just bet a little bit bigger to have a better stack to pot ratio on the river. And now the VIP leads. Yeah, what do you think? Can he have the straight, or can he have bluffs as well? Tricky spot.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird spot. I mean, in general, I would say when people call flop and turn and then donk out on the river, it's pretty strong. In general, I'd say that line, even from fish. But the thing is, he only bet like 60% pot, right? So it wasn't a huge bet, and fish can do this with worse value for sure. He could definitely have something like 5-6 suited. Actually, I don't even know. Is there a combo? Yeah, there's only one
Yeah.
combo. But who knows? He could have 5-6 offsuit. He could have like ace 10. He could have pocket jacks or something to slow blade, right? He could have, who knows, like 5-7 of clubs or something. You know, like you definitely see that type of thing. Just random plays. So I'm definitely just not folding here. It's not a great spot, but I'm not folding. He could also have missed club draws, of course, too, right? But I think just given the price, you just can't make these tight folds against fish. And until you know they're just like ultra tight, always have it. But yeah, I definitely want to be calling here given the price.
Do you think we can ever raise for value, or is this too thin?
Oh, that's way too thin. Just because I think you just only get called by a four at that point. Even from pretty bad players, it's tough for them to call worse. Maybe a set or something, but that's even that. I'm not even sure. So
Yeah,
yeah,
quite
I think just
unlikely.
here all day.
And Hero ended up making the call. I think this is the way to go, because the pot is already so big, you get such an amazing price. He should not have too many 4x, and as you mentioned, when he's a VIP, he is able to lead river with weaker hands, occasionally in bluff, but yeah, especially hands that he don't want to check call, like you mentioned, 2 pairs, strong top pairs, stuff like this. So we are definitely good often enough to show a profit. So don't hero fold against huge VIPs. This would be a huge blunder. And yeah, hero takes it down with this set. We have no idea what villain had, but this hand should definitely show you that you should make those huge hero folds unless you have more reads on your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, stay tuned for the next one, and we'll see you there.
See you guys.